for you and
Yeah.
what's in line with your goals, what you want for your lifestyle, what health, conditions you may or may not have. All of those things need to be taken into consideration so that you can eat out of love for yourself and out of respect for your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Empowered Vegan Lifers, Ella here, and I am with my co-host, Stephanie. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing well, Ella. How are you?
I am doing fantastic myself.
Yeah. We've had a lot going on. We've had a lot going on the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that might be the understatement of the century.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So many moving pieces getting our Vegan Life Coach Academy up and running, but now we are 2 weeks in, and wow, what a phenomenal group of people.
Oh my gosh, could we have asked for anything more, really? Just amazing, amazing people in there. Lots of great energy, lots of just encouragement and support that it's so much fun to be with them.
Yes, and we just released the first meal plan, which we're giving out sample meal plans that the mastermind behind these sample meal plans is Stephanie, and they are works of art, really.
Oh, well, thank you. It was kind of interesting to do them because I base them off what I do, and they're quick, they're easy. They're cook once and eat 3 times kind of recipes where you never have to feel like you're eating leftovers, because I hate leftovers. And so, and they're healthy, just big bang for your nutrition buck. Yeah.
That's right. Yes. So we are so lucky to have those for people every single week for the entire year. We are giving those to our members. And we will be opening up again at some point. We do not have a date yet, but in the meantime, we get to, one of the reasons we did this and we closed the doors to the academy was that we want to build the bond within the group.
Yeah.
Right. And it's important to be able to do that. So, and also for us to be able to focus on serving our members, as opposed to constantly promoting the academy. So it's a win-win when we do it that way, and we will open the doors. And when we do, whoever's listening, you just come right on in. We will keep you posted. And we do have a wait list available as well. So we'll put that in the show notes. So if you're intrigued by our Vegan Life Coach Academy, definitely get on the wait list.
Absolutely. Jump on in.
Yes. And Stephanie, I think somebody has a little trip coming up.
I do. I am going on vacation tomorrow.
But you take vacations all the time, right?
I take them all the time. No, this is my first one in 5 years, and that is not good for me. And I do not recommend that for anybody. I really felt like I was really losing my mind last week and was just, it's not good. Really, we need breaks. And I am not good at taking them. I mean, even as much as a lunch break, I rarely take. That's dumb. That's not, I don't recommend that at all. But yeah, we are going to the Ozarks, and I've lived in Missouri for so long, and I've never really been to the Ozarks. And my only conception is the show Ozark. And I don't think that's what it's like, but there is a part of me that's like, oh, this could be really a very adventurous vacation. But
well, I've never been to them either. So I've been to the Okefenokee Swamp.
Nice.
Was full of alligators, which was quite a rush. But so I'm very excited to see what this holds for you. I'm so excited for you to take a break. As you said, like, it's not good. And we're both guilty of, working more than is probably healthy, to be honest.
Absolutely. And, I think it kind of comes from a place that both of us love to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really think that work is fun. It's fulfilling. The things that I choose tend to be work related, mm-hmm. that I choose to spend my energy and my time with. But that just leads us to forget that, taking those breaks is monumentally important. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm going with no Wi-Fi. which I didn't tell the kids about, so I could be in for a really big, they're in for a big surprise. They don't know.
That.
They don't know that there's no Wi-Fi.
Are you not going to tell them until you actually get there?
No, I'm just going to pretend that I'm surprised. Be like, oh my gosh, you guys, there's no Wi-Fi here. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to pretend.
That's awesome. Can't wait to hear how that goes.
I know. Then they'll listen to this and they'll be like, oh, our mother lied to us.
There's a Zack that gets thrown out of the car. Okay, now you have to tell them because that just had to come up.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what prompted it, but a long time ago I made up their older brother Zack, and I tell them that when they were, oh, this is terrible.
Just say it. I'll tell mine.
I'd say that when they were bad, when they were bad in the car, that I'd throw Zack out of the car. And I couldn't find him. I went back and I couldn't find him. So every time they do something, I'm like, you don't want to end up like Zack. Of course they know I'm kidding, but that's become the joke, it'd be like, oh, stop. You don't want to end up like Zack.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. My mom, and I was saying my mom used to tell us in the restaurant when we were really little that if we didn't stay in our seats, that the chef was going to come out, take us back and stick us in the soup, and that we get cooked in the soup. So
that's
pretty terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Too, right?
No. Well,
and my mom's a preschool teacher.
But you do, when you're a parent, you get to those moments where like the ridiculous is what's going to get you by,
Yep. I think there's a lot of people relating right now.
I think so too. You don't necessarily, you want that edge of, fear just a little bit in those moments, but most of the time it's just the jokes for you.
Yes. Oh, that's great. Not great.
Yeah.
Speaking of kitchens, today's episode, maybe we should get to it.
Let's do it. The pantry.
And I never had a actual pantry growing up. Like, I didn't even know what that word was. What is a pantry? Like a closet?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, I think that pantry just means a place where you keep like things that don't have to be refrigerated, like staples.
But how's it different than a cabinet?
Anything
that's not a cabinet, it's not a refrigerator,
a larger
pantry.
I don't know. We probably should have Googled this, but I think now it's become like an actual place. Like you have a pantry, and it's like a closet or a little. I have two pantries. Because I'm fancy. No, they're both incredibly small, but so they're both needed. But one was a makeshift. It's a makeshift pantry.
I just think in our little South Beach condo, we just don't have pantries.
Yeah, I think in smaller homes. Yeah, probably so.
We have a beautiful view of the bay. So we will sacrifice having a pantry.
Oh, I would totally get rid of both my pantries for a small view of the bay.
Oh boy. Okay, so let's do this, Stephanie. Let's play this game. And you guys listening, we do not know what each other has come up with. We're going to play a little game. It's going to be a sprint round. Okay. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, Stephanie, and it's the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh boy.
So you don't want to take a long time. You just want to kind of whatever pops into your head.
All right. This is going to be really telling.
This will be.
This will be a really interesting psych experiment.
All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Ready.
What is one food that you couldn't dream of letting your kitchen or pantry be without?
Peanut butter.
Your favorite way to eat avocado?
Every single way. Straight avocado. Just scoop it right out of there.
Mexican or Asian?
Oh, please. No, I can't do that. I don't know.
You have to.
I can't choose.
Okay, tonight you have to choose one. You can't have both.
Asian.
Okay. A dish you love, but that your kids say yuck.
Quinoa. Anything with quinoa.
Spinach. Raw, steamed, or sauteed?
Yes. I love spinach too. Oh my gosh. I can't choose. I throw spinach in everything.
You're terrible at this game.
I'm terrible at this game, but I really do. I even throw some in I throw it in my smoothie. I use it instead of spaghetti sometimes. I throw it in my oatmeal. I love it. I love spinach. Yes.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, it's really good.
That would never have occurred to me.
Or quinoa, and just put, I don't know, it just gives a little like freshness to a dish.
Like even if it's sweet oatmeal, like with raisins or
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I literally have never heard of anyone doing that, and now I'm so curious that I'm definitely going to try.
Yeah, you have to. You have to cut it up. You have to cut it up little, like you do.
Okay.
And just throw it all in at the last minute.
Just raw at the last minute?
Mm-hmm. At the last minute.
Okay.
And it'll cook. It'll get kind of, it'll wilt.
Okay.
Because of the heat of the oatmeal or quinoa, whichever one you have, and then throw in your berries and sprinkle a few almonds on there, and it's delicious.
Well, I love putting spinach in everything too, but that was one that I had never tried before. So, all right, I got something new to try too.
I know, yeah. Get fearless in that kitchen. Yeah. It'll be fun. Yeah. All right. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I wish I could read my writing. All right. Where does your pantry get its protein?
Chickpeas?
Yeah. Oh, of course, yes. What is the thing that you freak out about if you don't find it in your pantry?
Spinach. Oh, can that be refrigerator too?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll just go with staples.
Okay.
We're calling the pantry just yeah. It's all of our staples.
Definitely spinach.
What is one food you can't keep in your pantry?
Because I eat it a lot?
Yeah.
Avocado.
Or oh yeah. Oh, I love avocados. What is one fun food you keep in your pantry?
Smoked Gouda.
Smoked
Gouda. Well, now 365 makes it as well. Follow your heart, or smoked Gouda cheese slices is just my favorite kind of treat.
Yeah.
Food. Yeah.
Nice.
I love that.
Okay. Here's one. Now this is like your actual like pantry or cabinet.
Okay.
Do you organize by color or do you organize by label?
Label.
Like all your labels facing out?
Oh, yes. I like the not the nutrition label, but like
the actual side. The pretty side.
That faces forward. Yeah, that faces at me. Yeah. You do it the other way, don't you?
I just throw them in there. Just throw everything in there. There's no organization. There's no organization in my pantry.
I love you.
It all just goes in there.
Yes, no, I'm a little more on the OCD side.
Yeah,
yes, you figured that. So. Yeah. Okay, fun. Okay.
That is fun.
Yeah, it is fun. All right, well, speaking of staples, shall we talk about staples? So what I want to do is talk about staples, reading nutrition labels, and some really awesome tips and tricks for you guys to take away from this episode that you can put to use right away to help you eat your healthiest, most delicious meals without taking a lot of time, because everybody's, what that word, busy.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched last week's episode on busyness, little plug for that. Go watch that. That was last week, wasn't it?
It was last week. Get to it. Yeah.
All right. So staples. When you did the meal plan, Stephanie, I loved how you put on one side, when we're talking about the grocery list, you put the pantry, and then on the other side, it was the produce, right? Was that how you did it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And both can be staples, but one we can stock ahead of time, and one we have to get fresh every week.
Yeah.
How do you organize when you're thinking about okay, I need to keep these things in my kitchen, in my pantry, in my refrigerator every week. What do you think about? Do you re-put, like, do you just automatically know to get them when you go to the store? Do you have to write it down? How do you organize that in your head or on paper?
Yeah, so I always pick a few meals that we're going to have throughout the week, but I pick them in a way that I can repurpose them. But there are certain things that I always have on hand. And so when I organize my grocery list, I organize it just that way. I put them in terms of produce and those things that I know are going to have to be I'm going to have to restock on because they don't keep. And then on the other side, I put my pantry list, and those are usually things that I know that I'm going to need, and so I just go into the pantry area and look for them. And if I like, I buy a lot of things in bulk. I have a big family, and so bulk for us makes sense, but there are some things that I always have. I buy chickpeas in bulk, I buy quinoa in bulk, those pantry items that keep for a long time. And then I just go back every week and make sure that I don't need to replenish them. And that includes spices. I use a lot of spices. I use a lot of fresh herbs, so I have to buy those every week because I'm not quite to my getting to grow my own. But the spices that you keep in your cabinet, it's just a good idea to just check the dates and make sure that you don't need to replenish those every once in a while too. So that's the way I do it.
Yes, I love that. And I love also, even though it's just Christian and I and Shy, keeping our non-perishables. I like buying those in bulk too, regardless, because how nice is it? I mean, I know I'm going to eat chickpeas and black beans and all the different legumes. There's certain non-perishables that I eat every week, and it's so much easier when I'll literally buy sometimes 20 cans of chickpeas, and I'll be stocked for a month or 2 or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then every week your grocery list is so much smaller. It's like, it just makes things so much easier. So I definitely recommend, if that's not something that you've thought about doing, anything non-perishable that you're going to use, go ahead and stock up on those and make your life easier every single week.
Absolutely.
Same with nuts and any of those that can stay around for quite a while. So the way I organize and the way we have our staples list for Vegan Life Coach Academy is by category. So we have our nuts, seeds, and berries as one category. Now, frozen foods is another one. You can only go as big as your freezer is. That's the only problem there. We usually have more cabinet space or storage space, but the freezer, keeping those berries, there's nothing wrong. I think sometimes frozen food gets a bad rap.
I do too.
Right? But frozen veggies, you know that they're there. Frozen veggies, frozen fruit, making smoothies with frozen berries is fantastic. So certain things that you can keep stocked is really great. So nuts, seeds, berries, grains and grain-like seeds. Quinoa is really and some rolled oats are my 2 big ones. What about you?
Yeah, we keep quinoa and rolled oats. My kids really do like rice, so we have brown rice is always in our cabinet too. So,
and then what about condiments and seasoning? Now, if you guys haven't listened to our episode number 2 on meal mapping, we're not going to talk about meal mapping or meal planning in the same way in this episode. So if you haven't gone and watched or listened to episode 2, meal mapping, go and do that as well after this, because the 2 of these combined are going to really give you a great foundation to set yourself up for success in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Now, part of that, and the reason I brought that up, is because you are so phenomenal, Stephanie, at the flavor profiles and making your own dressings and sauces, because that's one of the places, and if we talk about, reading nutrition labels, that is one of the places that it is really hard to find a healthy dressing. It is.
It is. And the ones that are healthy, to me, don't taste good.
Or there's something you can make, or they're like $10, and it's something you
Yes.
could make in 2 seconds with one avocado.
Yeah. Yeah. By the time you figure out how to peel off the label or peel off the, the top thing, and you could already have it made. So, yeah.
So what do you keep stocked? What are a few things that you can give people to be able to create these sauces and dressings very quickly for themselves?
Veggie broth is a big one. I cook with veggie broth, and then I also use them in the sauces. I use tamari, but you can use aminos. You can find soy sauce that works for you. I also use a little bit of maple syrup. Maple syrup is a natural sweetener, and so that's something that I use. And fresh herbs, vinegar. Vinegar and mustard. You have to have those to be able to make your own sauces. And then if you can create a sauce, or this is what I do, I try to create a sauce with something that's healthy. So like avocado as the base, as the cream, as rather than mayo, although mayo works great too.
You can mayo, also, of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. I know, but I feel like I have to say it. I don't know why.
Well, I feel like we should. I mean, mayo's incredible. Yes. So yeah, definitely. Using those, and then if you have fresh herbs, and you can just mix it all up.
Yeah.
Peanut butter, nut butters are good for sauces too, that have some great healthy fats to them too. And so I think we're all still kind of in that whole idea that fat is bad for you, when really it gets such a bad rap. And you can still get really healthy fats without having to use oil in sauces and dressings. So yeah,
that's a big
hummus. One. Hummus is another one I have to tell you about. Hummus is such a great base for everything. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of oils and healthy fats, so yes, we want to just explain that when we're talking about a healthy fat, we're talking about the whole food. So yes. When you're eating avocado, that's a healthy fat. When you're eating avocado oil, it's just not healthy. It just isn't. When we extract the fat from the rest of the food, we are basically taking out the fat, and nothing nutritionally valuable about that fat. Well, when it's together with the fiber and the whole food works together, it's completely different. Your body processes it completely different. So ideally, and we talk about from ideal to, what's really crappy for you, and what that continuum looks like, and what that balance looks like that you've got to create for yourself. I know that if I cut out oil, it would be the healthiest thing for me. Mm-hmm. That being said, I love olive oil. I just do. So do I drench things in it? No, but do I like a little olive oil on my salad? Yes. So that's part of the balance that works for me. I don't eat any refined sugar. I don't like it. I don't crave it anymore. I detox from it, and I have no plans to go back. So the reason I'm telling you that is because it's about finding that balance for you, and understanding, having the knowledge of what's ideal versus what's really awful for you, and then creating what's going to work for you, and what's in line with your goals, what you want for your lifestyle, what health, conditions you may or may not have. All of those things need to be taken into consideration so that you can eat out of love for yourself and out of respect for your body.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you bring up a really important point. Yes, we want to eat out of love and respect for our body and give it the most nutrition that we can possibly give it, without question. There are other reasons that we eat, and part of that is for enjoyment, and part of that is, social aspects of it too. So saying no to all fun foods, is not realistic for most people. And there are, you have to consider those things too when you're really thinking about your daily life and what brings you enjoyment. So
exactly.
If olive oil brings you enjoyment, why not have a little bit of olive oil? It's okay.
And there are degrees in terms of oils, and extra virgin olive oil is one of the healthier, and none of them are healthy, but the healthier oils. When you get into the processed, highly processed vegetable oils, canola oil, palm oil, they go on the other end of that spectrum, down to the real crappy for you.
Yeah.
So yes. And you know what? I think we're going to save, I want to talk about reading nutrition labels, but I want to do it justice, because I've got a whole system for reading labels. I know Stephanie already knows that, but if that probably doesn't surprise anybody either. Speaking of which, not being surprising, me being very predictable, we were in Vegan Life Coach Academy, and we did a guessing game because we have a plant food of the week. So I was on our Q&A. We do a weekly Q&A. And I was like, okay, we're going to do the big reveal. I bet you can't guess what our first food of the week is. And it was like, chickpeas. It was like 10 people were like, I know what it is. It's chickpeas. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was so funny when you said, oh, it's going to be this big reveal. What do you think it is? And everyone knew what it was. Everyone,
but they're not going to know next week.
Next week is you're right. Next week is going to be a big surprise. Yes, I think.
It's super exciting. It's super exciting. Thursdays is our Q&A. We get on, we do the reveal of the plant food of the week. We give awards to people for different things during the week. We have a lot of fun, we're having so much fun in there.
It really is a really, really great environment. Lots of good energy.
Absolutely. So let's move on to tips and tricks, and we'll save the reading labels for another day, so that we can do it justice. I want to give the whole system. I do not want to, I don't want you guys missing out on my system. Tips and tricks. Okay. So I'll start with one. Maybe we'll go back and forth. I have two. So I'm sure you probably have many more. My first tip is organizing your fridge so that when you open the door, you see the things that you want to choose first that are the healthiest food. So I think our refrigerators are kind of set up to put unhealthy foods in front of us, because we have the drawers, the crisper, where you want to put the produce, right, kind of hidden away in the drawer. Well, I just say, forget all of that. Let me, on eye level, I want all my whole foods there. I want to see the celery and the lettuce and the avocados and the tomatoes. I want to see all the whole foods right when I open the door. What I want to slip in those drawers are things like the vegan cheeses, the vegan mayo. I want to put vegan meats, Beyond Meat, that sort of thing. Anything that's, I would consider a treat food, I want to put those away in where I have to work a little harder to get to them. So that's my first tip.
Yeah, that's a great one. And I'm going to piggyback off of that one too, for people who are transitioning with families that are not transitioning with them, is to do the same thing. Really put those things away into places where you don't necessarily see them the first thing that you open your door. My kids are vegan at home, but I don't restrict them out, and I do not ban people from bringing food in. So those always go into the bottom drawer. And those things that I don't necessarily want to eat all the time that they do, we have, for example, we have almond chocolate pudding right now. That goes in a drawer, because if I see that first thing, I am definitely going to want that before the broccoli. So,
right. I love that. I love that. And just while we're on that subject, one of your tips also, when we talk about making choices about what to eat. And one of the things that I love that you say, Stephanie, is the why question. Can you just tell them that? Because I don't think we can say that enough, because they might not have caught it on another episode, because it's so valuable.
Yeah. So when you want to eat, and we all want to eat for different reasons, and you ask yourself the question, why? Give yourself that permission to take a pause and ask the question why. And if you like the answer, go ahead. No problem. If you don't like the answer, to your question why you want to eat, then it's time to dive a little bit deeper and really ask yourself those questions of, am I eating because of emotional reasons? Am I eating because it tastes good? Am I eating because I'm bored? All of those things, and then really start facing the stuff that comes up rather than stuff in your face. That's my phrase. I love it.
Facing your stuff instead of stuffing your face.
Your face.
Yeah. Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah.
And piggybacking on that, would I eat broccoli right now? Or choose a food that you enjoy that's super healthy. I love when you talk about that. You ask yourself, okay, would I eat? That's such a great way to really dive into, am I really hungry or is this something else?
Exactly. If you choose a food that you're really neutral about, that just packs a very potent nutritional punch, broccoli, spinach, kale, whatever it happens to be, but you got to be pretty neutral about it. You can't just love it. You got to be neutral about it and make that your go-to and say to yourself, would I eat broccoli right now? And if you wouldn't, then you're probably not hungry. You're probably eating for different reasons. So it's time to think about that a little bit.
Absolutely. It has everything to do with learning to trust your body again, also to get in tune with your body, to build that healthy relationship with your body, because if we don't rebuild that trust, then we can't get to that intuitive eating. That's so awesome when you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to build that relationship with your body. We had a question come up the other day about, well, what if my body's telling me I need chocolate? And that's a really good question. It's really not your body that's telling you need chocolate. It's your brain telling you need chocolate. It's that center that's saying, I want pleasure. I want some, I want to relax. I want to really, feel good. And that's where that comes from. Not that you can't have chocolate, but just, you have to really think about whether that's okay or not.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. And then comparing that as well to, especially the more addictive foods, comparing it to something like heroin. Think about a heroin addict who is running out of heroin in their system, and their body, they're going to say, my body, I'm craving heroin.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean heroin's good for you.
And neither is Mountain Dew, Doritos, or Pop-Tarts. Let me tell you that.
Boom. That's right. Boom. All right. My tip number 2 out of 2 for me. Cutting vegetables right away when you get home from the grocery store. Anything, I love to bring home different dips and hummus, the Kite Hill French onion dip. I love that. It's oil free. But if we bring a big thing of celery and I put the celery whole into the refrigerator, the chance of that getting eaten when I'm in a hurry, and I say, I just need a quick snack, I'm not going to take the celery out, wash it, cut it. I'm going to probably choose something that ultimately is not going to serve me as well. So my trick is to, when I get home from the grocery store with celery, I'm just using that as one example, I immediately just go ahead and cut it, wash it. I put it in a big Tupperware with water. It seems to stay really well in there. And then, little baby carrots. That's something I don't have to cook. Or don't have to cut up. So I will get the little baby carrots. Making the healthy things as easy and convenient, whatever that takes, maybe prep-wise, is worth doing.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I think you can, I think that if you will eat them and not throw them out at the end of the week, then it's worth spending that extra money for convenience and taking that little bit of extra time when you get home to be able to chop and prep and all of that. Yep. Now I love to chop vegetables, so I do it every day. It's my thing.
It's your zen.
My zen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not my zen, but.
No, I hear you. It's not for everyone.
Neither is cleaning.
Neither.
My boyfriend will tell you that.
I'll tell you that too.
I'm organized. I'm one of those organized people. I like things tidy. I like things put away, but I do not like to clean.
I don't like to do any of it. It's not my thing.
Hey, you got enough other things to do, right?
Well, yeah, I used to feel bad about it, but I don't feel bad about it anymore. Now I'm just like, it's me.
Do you have one more tip for us?
I think I do.
Okay.
But I have
to share it? Or are you going to just keep it to yourself?
Nope. just going to keep it to myself.
Sharing is caring, Stephanie.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. No, I do. Probably my biggest time saver is to decide how much time you want to spend meal prepping, and not say that I have to meal prep all day on Sunday, but really give yourself that permission to say, I really only want to spend 30 minutes meal prepping. I really only want to spend an hour meal prepping. And so I don't think that that's necessarily, because I think that sometimes when you really box yourself in to meal prepping, then it becomes just a drudgery, and eventually you're going to give that up. So, my biggest time savers are those things that take a long time to cook. So I cook beans, I cook quinoa, and I do some veggie prep on the weekends, and that's it. I don't do anything else. So that's my other tip for is that a pantry tip? That's not a pantry tip.
No, but it is.
Because,
well, yeah, I think all of these are, because this is what you're putting in your pantry and your kitchen is the what you make. So we'll just call it, yes, that is.
Maybe I should come up with a different one. What's my other tip?
It's relatable.
Is there anything that I do? I don't know. Do I have another tip? I think I'm already on vacation.
Yeah, I think that was fine.
Okay.
So we'll just cut out the part where we said it wasn't fine. It was totally fine.
All right.
Mine's cutting veggies. I guess it was more meal prep. I started out with all of this is not really, it's tips and tricks for eating healthy in your pantry. So you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Okay. That's it. Okay.
I should have thought about that a little earlier.
No, well, you didn't have the outline in front of you. You've got enough going on. You got vacation coming up tomorrow. So
tomorrow.
Yes, you get a little leeway here. All right.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, I think that gives people quite a bit to work on this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that we do the heavier stuff on some weeks, and then some weeks we lighten it up with things like what's in your pantry.
Yeah.
We're a variety show.
We are a variety show. We're a variety show. We just won't sing for you guys. That's might be where we draw the line. We might though. We might.
Don't hold your breath. All right, you guys, we are going to wrap it up there. Thanks for joining us. Please, if you have just a moment to leave us a review, if you're loving what you hear, then we would be so grateful. They go a long way. And also share it with your friends and your family. And we're just so grateful that you've chosen to spend this time with us. And we will see you next time.
Until next time.